Hey everyone, welcome back to another beautiful, gorgeous Maryland day. And I want to start by saying thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos. Intended purpose for these videos is basically to show how things are done, make it easier for somebody else to figure it out instead of, you know, wasting time and energy and money. So today we're working on Rivian R1T. I wanted some side steps or rock crawlers. I looked at rock sliders. And problem, they're expensive, and I really don't rock crawl. We go a lot of off-roading, camping, and beaches and things like that. So I really don't need something that is sturdy, but sturdy enough to step in. We have a lot of older family members that I shuttle back and forth between appointments and other places. So they always had a challenge getting in the truck, and since I wanted something, some sort of step to get them in, and not spend too much money. And the second reason is, you see the happy dog right there, Chloe. She's getting older, so typically I need a ramp for her to get in and out. And with this back door right here, where typically she resides, is not wide enough opening to put her ramp in there. So this would be perfect, so I can slide her ramp there. She can just crawl up and then jump into the seat as she's getting older. So there's a couple of reasons, and thanks to EVBASE, they, as I was looking, and they got in touch, they say, hey, would you be willing to kind of do a review and install on these? I was like, sure, why not? I'll give it a chance. So with that in mind, so I got one side kind of hand tight everything as I'm going through figuring things out. So first thing, here's a box. I think it was used, maybe that's what I got. But it had some bolt marks, but it looks pretty new. So you get 3 brackets for each side. They're labeled not correctly, as I figured out as I was installing this first one here on the driver's side. So I end up swapping the middle bracket to the rear and the rear bracket to the middle. I'll show you in a second what that is, why I end up doing that way, because the instructions, other than making sure the parts are in, you got all the nuts and bolts that you need, they're kind of worthless. So I'm hoping they'll come up with the new instructions. As far as installing them, first thing you got to do is lift the truck as high as possible, so off-road, highest setting, so that way you can work under it, and have a pad available because you're going to be crawling under it. And as far as the tools goes, just a basic set, pliers, pullers, and as far as the sizing goes, you need a 10 mil and you need a 13 mil for the bottom screws here, and you need a 17 for the bigger bolts, and you also need T20 Torx, and again a couple of flat screwdrivers just to pry things out. So I'll show you on the other side, which I haven't done, just to give you an idea what are you dealing with. These are the parts you're taking off. This is the back portion of the plastic cover, middle, and the front's under there. So I'll show you on the other side what you got to do to get things started. First thing, of course, jack up the truck. Second thing, when you go under here, you'll see there's a couple of 10 mil. There's a 10 mil here. I don't know if you can see, and there's a 10 mil there. So I would remove that first. And then T20, 2 of them, and this pulls out. And the trick to pulling this thing out is right here. You want to put your pry bar or a big flat screwdriver and kind of push it. And I would recommend, the reason I'm doing it in a nice sunny hot day, this plastic or rubbery thing is quite workable. If you do it in a cold climate or a cold day, this is going to be kind of hard because, again, it's plastic and I end up breaking clips and stuff on it. So I would pick a nice sunny hot day. The middle section comes out, they had no screws, so basically pop this out. What I found out was easier, since it's flexible, I'll pop this side out first, and then I'll work this side from the inside, pop all those clips out. And for the back, there's only one screw here, 10 mil. Let me get in here so you can see closer. There's only one 10 mil you got to take off. These you don't have to take off because they hold the inner fender. And again, pop this out, or this side, what I found out, it wasn't mentioned anywhere in the instructions. This has got 3M double-sided tape, so I don't have any in hand. So I'm gonna leave these off for now. As you gotta modify them to put them back. And I gotta order some 3M tape. So any kind of double-sided high body panel tape. They're all over Amazon. You can pretty much find links for anything. And while you're at it, I would check all my screws underneath, because I seems to find every time it comes back from service, some seems to be loose. I found this 10 mil on the other side was pretty much 2 threads in, and that was it. And I put a Loctite before I put them back in. Same thing when you put in the rock sliders. Getting old. Steps. What you want to do is go ahead and when you're putting these pieces together, take them out, Loctite them, so that way they don't have, I found those to be quite loose. So Loctite all this, and other thing you can do if you want them not rattling kind of deal, when you're putting this piece together, you can put a little bit of double-sided tape or some sort of foam all between where these two pieces kind of come close, so that you don't get rattle on them. And again, for the mounting points, when you put the 10 mil bolts, I'll show you where the mounting points are and how this all lines up. Sorry for it's a bit tight in here. So the way I figured these out, if you start from the front, the first screw that goes here, it's a 10 mil. It's the bolt is already in here. So if you look at these right here, this is the first one from the front that's available. These are factory, they're not used. And I lined the first bracket with that, and then it goes into the first bolt here, and it's all hand tight. And then once you put that in, then you skip one in the middle, and then you put the second bracket in, again, right here, and then right here, and they kind of line up. Keep them loose until you're ready to tighten everything out. And the third one, there's no pre-factory one here, and then right there was a factory bolt, not in there. You just tighten that, and then loosen that one out and do that. And then at the end, you should have one left here. So total, there's 5 of these, and you're using 3 out of 5, and with the factory washers and nut. And again, I would Loctite these just to make sure they don't rattle around. And as far the bottom goes, this rail pretty much slides, this piece right here, so that's where the other fasteners go to hold the step in place. So what you do basically is put a washer, lock washer, and a nut on it. And as you can see, they kind of look used, because I bet they tried installing it and somebody returned it and whatnot, whatever the case is. So that's what I would do. I would prefer to see these 9-0 lock nuts on them, so that way you don't have a rattling issue or anything. And another reason I'm thinking about leaving this without putting plastic in, since I gotta wait for 3M stuff, I wanna see how much wind noise they make, because I'm really picky about wind noise with these brackets. And also what kind of, if there's any range hit. And again, I do a little bit of off-roading kind of situation, so if I feel like I need to take them off, I can just pull these 6 bolts and the whole thing will slide out. And as for the overall where I end up positioning them, because they're not full length, as you can see, they're a bit short on both ends. So I basically took the curvature of this piece right here, I don't know if it's coming clear, and I evenly center the 2 pieces, this step here. And overall, they look pretty good. I'll do another video on it, how they hold up. There seems to be a pretty strong strap, and they make the truck look pretty good. Again, I'm not much of a look person, I'm more of a functional person, so I'll let you know how they function after I tighten everything out. So overall, it's a good step. Seems to be, you know, pretty sturdy enough. They're not heavy duty like rock crawler sliders will be, but overall, I'm pretty happy with them for what they are, for the price. I think they're worth the money. On top, I think if you're in the city or whatever, one thing I did like about my Raptor that had wider steps like this is anytime somebody opens a door in a car or something, they end up hitting the steps instead of hitting your truck or car or whatever. So, you know, they got multi-purpose. They'll save a couple of dings. Not that, you know, this thing doesn't get dinged up. But overall, they look pretty good. And hopefully that helps somebody out. Again, this last piece here, where it goes in, this is double-sided tape. So I'm guessing 3M double-sided tape. There's these pieces here I don't see anything sliding into. And these are the clips that go in. One is in there. I gotta get a nose plier to get it out. But that's kind of what it overall looks like. And again, this piece slides into it, to the battery pack side, and this just pops right in. You're gonna have to use a little bit of force to get these out. Don't be afraid, just don't break anything. But overall, I'm happy with them. They seems to be pretty good. And again, no torque specs on any of the stuff that I read so far. So good and tight is what I'm going with. All the stuff that I'm putting together, and that's about it. On that note, thank you again for watching these videos. Please like, subscribe, and share if they're helpful, and enjoy the 4th weekend. It's a gorgeous day. Hopefully we'll go out boating or kayaking. I'm still working on the boat. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.